The Everything Store, Jeff Bezos and the Age of Amazon, is a book by Brad Stone that tells the story of how Amazon went from a humble online bookstore to the world's largest online retailer. Here is a chapter-wise summary of the book with examples. Chapter 1. In the Beginning. The first chapter of the book talks about Jeff Bezos' early life and his decision to leave his job on Wall Street to start Amazon. Stone describes Bezos' entrepreneurial spirit and his belief that the internet was going to change everything. One example in this chapter is Bezos' decision to sell books online, which he believed was a market with huge potential due to the vast selection of books available and the ease of shipping them. Chapter 2. The House of Bezos. In this chapter, Stone describes Bezos' leadership style and the company culture he created at Amazon. He also discusses the early challenges the company faced, such as the difficulty of convincing publishers to sell their books online. One example in this chapter is Bezos' door desk, which he used as his office when Amazon was first starting out. The door was propped up on two sawhorses, and Bezos would often take meetings while sitting on the floor. Chapter 3. Going for the Jugular. This chapter focuses on Amazon's aggressive expansion into new markets and its willingness to take risks. Stone discusses Amazon's decision to enter the music and DVD markets, as well as its launch of the Amazon Web Services, AWS, platform. One example in this chapter is the introduction of the Amazon Prime subscription service, which offered free 2-day shipping to customers for an annual fee. This move helped Amazon cement its position as a leader in the e-commerce industry. Chapter 4. A Machine for Learning. In this chapter, Stone talks about Amazon's use of data and algorithms to optimize its operations and improve customer experience. He describes the development of the recommendation engine, which used data analysis to suggest products to customers based on their browsing and purchase history. One example in this chapter is Amazon's use of customer reviews to improve product recommendations and inform its product development decisions. Chapter 5. The Everything Store. This chapter discusses Amazon's expansion into new product categories and the company's move into physical retail with the acquisition of Whole Foods. Stone also talks about Amazon's foray into original content production with its Amazon Studios division. One example in this chapter is the launch of the Kindle e-reader, which marked Amazon's entry into the hardware market and paved the way for the company's success in the tablet market with the Kindle Fire. Chapter 6. The Book of Bezos. In this chapter, Stone explores Bezos' leadership style and his focus on innovation and experimentation. He describes Amazon's work on projects such as the Amazon Echo smart speaker and the Amazon Go cashierless store. One example in this chapter is the creation of the two-pizza team concept, which involves organizing teams small enough that they could be fed with 2 pizzas. This approach to team organization was meant to encourage innovation and agility within Amazon's culture. Chapter 7. The Everything Store, Everywhere. This chapter discusses Amazon's global expansion and its efforts to adapt its business model to different regions and markets. Stone describes the challenges Amazon faced in China, where it struggled to compete with local e-commerce giant Alibaba. One example in this chapter is Amazon's acquisition of the Indian e-commerce company Flipkart, which gave Amazon a foothold in one of the world's fastest-growing e-commerce markets. Chapter 8. The Antitrust Paradox. In this chapter, Stone discusses the criticism and scrutiny that Amazon has faced over its business practices and market dominance. He describes Amazon's battles with publishers and authors over pricing, as well as its conflict with brick-and-mortar retailers over taxes and competition. Stone also explores the question of whether Amazon's size and power make it a monopoly, and whether the company's practices are anti-competitive. One example in this chapter is the controversy over Amazon's treatment of third-party sellers on its platform, with some arguing that Amazon uses its position to unfairly advantage its own products. Chapter 9. All the Guts, No Glory. This chapter focuses on Amazon's logistics and supply chain operations, which have been key to the company's success in delivering products quickly and efficiently. Stone describes the development of Amazon's fulfillment centers and the company's use of robotics and automation in its warehouses. One example in this chapter is Amazon's decision to build its own delivery network, which allowed the company to reduce its reliance on third-party carriers such as UPS and FedEx. Chapter 10. The Empire of the Mind. In this chapter, Stone explores Amazon's growing influence in areas such as artificial intelligence and cloud computing. He describes the development of the Amazon Web Services, AWS, platform, which has become a major source of revenue for the company. Stone also discusses Amazon's work on projects such as the Alexa voice assistant and its investments in machine learning and automation. One example in this chapter is Amazon's acquisition of the robotics company Kiva Systems, which helped the company improve its warehouse operations and paved the way for the development of its own line of robots. Chapter 11. The Cost of Convenience. The final chapter of the book looks at the impact that Amazon has had on the retail industry and on society as a whole. Stone discusses the criticism that Amazon has faced over issues such as labor practices and the environmental impact of its operations. He also explores the question of whether Amazon's dominance is good for consumers, arguing that while Amazon has certainly made shopping more convenient, it has also contributed to the decline of small businesses and the homogenization of culture. One example in this chapter is the debate over Amazon's impact on the book industry, with some arguing that Amazon's dominance has hurt independent bookstores and led to a decrease in the diversity of books available. Overall, The Everything Store provides a comprehensive look at the history and impact of Amazon, and offers insights into the leadership, culture, and innovation that have made the company one of the most successful businesses of our time. If you like this summary, then subscribe to my channel, and if you want to purchase this book, check out the link given in description box. Also check out the new designs on our store for unisex t-shirt, hoodie, sweatshirt, etc. I'll see you in the next book summary. Thanks for watching.